Interviewed at length. State Police issued a statement a short time ago saying primary focus of the search continues to be in the Dannemora area. And that, of course, is where the prison is located.
Fox's David Lee Miller in Amity, New York. The hunt for a man suspected of shooting and killing a New Orleans police officer ended with the arrest this morning of 33-year-old Travis Boyce. He was discovered on a city bus by another officer who spotted him wearing broken handcuffs. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
How can you get from here to there? We've got the answer from the ChicagoRadioDeals.com Traffic Center.
I'm Tom Bowman taking a look at traffic. Right now, the Edens inbound Willow to the junction is still stop and go. Ray Cook to the junction 33. Outbound, you're looking fine. 19. Inbound Spur is still stop and go from Waukegan Road. Inbound Kennedy got a few slow spots. River Road Toll to Canfield is going to be stop and go. Then slow Nagel into Sacramento. O'Hare to downtown 29 minutes. And from the junction is 12. On the outbound side, you have no problems. Inbound Eisenhower, you're looking at Manheim to Harlem for your delay. Thorndale to the post office 32, and from Manheim is 19. Outbound Eisenhower and Stevenson in both directions, you are looking at a delay-free run. Inbound Dan Ryan, just 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound, you are looking clear. It is currently 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies in Chicago. Possibility of rain moving in late tonight. Get your next update in 15 minutes on AM560 The Answer.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 on-target radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invites you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com or call 877-954-3030. That's 877-954-3030. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly is ours.
20 years of credit counseling and debt management services. More than 36,000 program members freed from credit card debt. Nearly $100 million saved in high interest and finance charges. It's Trinity's 20th anniversary, and these are just a few of the milestones we're celebrating as we begin our third decade of helping people become debt-free for keeps. Did you know that members who complete our program save on average more than $20,000 in interest?
My name is Mike. From the very first phone call, Trinity brought us relief by stopping all the late fees and collections calls, greatly reducing our interest and consolidating our bills into one easy-to-manage monthly payment. Now we're on track to save nearly $17,000 in finance charges. Happy 20th anniversary, Trinity. Thanks for helping so many save so much.
And Trinity can help you, too. Call 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste.
If I could have gotten 51 votes in the Senate of the United States for an outright ban, picking up every one of them, Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in, I would have done it.
I have two words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming.
It's time for On Target Radio, Chicagoland's only radio show dedicated to the red meat issues that affect your life, from gun control to freedom of speech. Now, debating, debunking, and discussing today's hot issues. Here are your hosts, David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz.
Welcome to On Target Radio. Tonight, David and Gretchen will be talking about the Trade Promotion Authority. Is it really about gun confiscation? Obama's plan to force diversification in wealthy neighborhoods, and Feds lost $2.8 billion in Obamacare subsidies. Obama says it's okay for Muslim jihadists to join U.S. military forces for training. And be sure to stay tuned for tonight's segment 6 on the South Carolina church shooting. All that and more on tonight's On Target Radio. So be sure to give us a call at 312-642-5600. Or go to Facebook, like our page, On Target Radio, and ask a question there.
And now, from the seething cauldron of personal opinion, it's time for David's Rant of the Week.
I don't wear an aluminum foil cap when I go to bed because I don't hear voices talking to me. As a more casual observer of the war for the hearts and minds of John Q., I'm getting fed up with the ever-increasing departure from the simple truth toward outright deceit. Over the past years, I have been unrelenting in my pointing to hypocrisy and the manufacturing of pseudo-facts that the left uses to advance their agenda. However, it would be disingenuous of me to ignore the same behavior from those with philosophies I happen to support. As part of preparing for this week's rant, I shoveled through the ton of email in my recently deleted file and discovered I'm averaging 60 emails a day from our newsletter readers, radio show listeners, and various blogs, all of which are furthering a conservative point of view that ranges from something I totally agree with to a radical raving psychotic. Let me tell you unequivocally that the flexi-truth is not solely the realm of liberalism. If I took to heart everything I read in the course of a given day, I'd be living in a Faraday cage deep inside a cave in Idaho with 6 tons of freeze-dried food, 20,000 gallons of water, 100,000 rounds of ammo, and a Gideon Bible. Lately, in between reading about the plague of coming locust and exhortations on how to load .223 caliber rounds with pig entrails, I've been reading a lot about Congress signing off trade promotion authority for the president. Depending upon which conservative reader, listener, or blog you read, implementation of the TPA ranges from the equivalent of the earth opening and swallowing the United States to unleashing the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Now, there may well be good reasons for Congress to not sign off on TPA for the president, but most of what I've read about it from conservative sources has been a tad bit over the top. Since 1974, Congress has enacted TPA legislation that defines U.S. negotiating objectives and priorities for trade agreements and establishes consultation and notification requirements for the president to follow throughout the negotiation process. At the end of the negotiation and consultation process, Congress gives the agreement an up or down vote without amendment. TPA defies the terms, conditions, and procedures under which Congress allows the administration to enter into trade agreements and sets the procedures for congressional consideration of bills to implement the agreements. It is true, the president could theoretically work on a trade agreement that affects firearms, but the president has no power to commit the U.S. to anything without congressional consent. There's no back door sneaking gun control in. Then there's the United Nations Arms Trade Treaty. An old friend sent me a copy of the actual document, and it made for interesting reading. There may be a number of reasons to not sign it, the most compelling of which is the United Nations itself, and of course the UN's well-established anti-gun agenda. However, if you actually read the thing, you'll find some interesting wording. For instance, in the preamble, it says, reaffirming the sovereign right of any state to regulate and control conventional arms exclusively within its territory, pursuant to its own legal or constitutional system, unquote. Doesn't sound like a UN imposition of gun confiscation to me. You hear a lot about a requirement for having a national control system and the registration of firearms. But again, if you read the document, Articles 3 and 4, which respectively deal with ammunition and parts and components, are very specific about those issues applying to export and not domestic use. Having said that, the UN Arms Trade Treaty may still be undesirable from an international commerce perspective, but otherwise, no one thus far has given me a compelling reason that this treaty would actually affect private firearm ownership in the U.S. In that regard, we have far more to fear from a rogue president than a United Nations run by a bunch of tin pot dictators who've never even paid us rent. Nietzsche once wrote, "I'm not upset that you lied to me. I'm upset that from now on I can't believe you." The truth is, there are few absolutes in life, and no argument for or against any issue is without flaws in its fabric. But they who would squander their reputation to get a leg up on the enemy do so at their own peril. I'm a firm believer that truth, even when it's deleterious to your cause, remains the only viable long-term option, and all the more so for the political party that professes to be the true guardian of the nation's values and moral fiber. Once trust is lost, regaining it is all but impossible. With so many voices bombarding John Q around the clock, I think I'll pick up a roll of Reynolds aluminum foil on the way home. And that, Gretchen, is my rant for the week.
My Weird Al CD got to you, did it?
You're weird. Funny you should mention that. Weird Al Yankovic, yes. She stuck it in my player.
I made him listen to the latest Weird Al CD, and one of the songs is Foil. It's a parody of the Lord song Royals. But he talks about wearing an aluminum foil hat.
So it got and last night after listening to that, I'm at home and I'm hearing footsteps in the house. I it's just out of nowhere I'm hearing footsteps. So
and you saw that dark SUV parked up the street today.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
But there was just a party.
That's embarrassing. I will admit. I raced up to it and looked right through the front window and nobody was.
There was no one.
There was a party at the house. Yeah. Okay. Well, what are you going to do?
There was just a lot of vehicles parked on your street.
I know. You're listening to On Target Radio, AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. Weigh in on this the arms treaty. I mean, I've read it. A good friend of mine sent it to me. I've read it, and all the stuff that people are talking about that's so bad. Very specifically, the words in those parts refer to exports,
sure,
not domestic use.
Sure. Well, and I kind of decided that a long time ago that these groups that are trying to basically raise money, they use the UN Arms Treaty as a scare tactic.
Yeah.
And it comes up every couple of months. It recycles back around, and it's like you have to realize after this happens a few times, they go, call your senators and your representatives. Very important that you call them right away. And after it happens about 3-4 times, you go, oh, okay,
yeah, right.
I see what's happening here. And that's the thing is, everybody, basically the more sane people on our side have said, that's all sort of a red herring. It's never going to pass Congress. Congress is never going to ratify it. And so when you brought it up to me in conjunction with the TPA thing, I thought, it's really not any different. I mean, if Congress is going to do an up or down vote of any trade agreement that's been hammered out by the president, it's just going to be a down vote if it has to do with limiting our Second Amendment rights, because it's the same thing. They would never ratify the UN Arms Trade Treaty.
Well, as long as Republicans have control.
Well, no, I mean, it's basically been said for years, even before the Republicans won the last time.
Well, actually, you're right. That is true.
Yeah, I've been hearing it for at least 4 years that it's never going to be ratified by Congress.
I called Randy Hultgren's office, Congressman, which is our district, and the staffer who answered the phone, I asked him that question about the TPA and is it going to lead to gun confiscation? And he goes, no one's called and even brought that up.
You're the first person that
asked us that's that. What he said. You're the first person. He goes, no, it's not.
Did he say take off your hat?
No. He said
take off your foil hat.
Can I have your name? And I gave him Rick's name. I don't know. He tried real hard not to say he thought it was a psychotic.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's what he was thinking.
Well, they're trained and they take those calls all day long. So, I'm sure they've heard everything. I'm sure they've heard way weirder stuff than that.
They may have, but
I agree with you what you said about the UN. I think the biggest reason to fear the UN arms treaty is the UN itself.
You're right.
It's just that the UN is completely worthless and doesn't do what they're supposed to do at a minimum, let alone.
Yeah, and they still haven't paid rent. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back after a few messages. And when we come back, we're actually going to talk about, Obama's neighborhood thing going on. That's a real weird thing. So we'll be back with that and more after a few messages with more On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Stuck in traffic? We've got
Gaylord's Fine Dining.
Traffic Center.
The Mercedes. Yeah, you don't have to go. If you are bringing your food, then you must eat your
Kennedy in 25 from O'Hare 11 from the junction. No delays on the outbound Kennedy or Edens. Express lanes are wide open. 190
You look
extension,
right in, you
moving
can
well
see,
between
you
the
got some
airport and
experience,
Kennedy. Look out for some inbound.
Act like you're talking to me. No, I swear. Don't act
Right
like
lane, not
I didn't talk to Gretchen.
east of there from 25th to 1st, a half hour. Thorndale 17. We now have Stevenson clear. Inbound line is
That's a
17.
big skyrocket up from usually too.
Yeah, both do it well. Early delay on the
Just saying that for one drop.
80 degrees, mostly cloudy.
Well, they're drinking.
Partly cloudy overnight, a low of 78. It's rain in the morning. Otherwise, a high of 80. Except 8, 15 minutes on AM560 The Answer.
That might seem to yeah, well, the audio channel. Speaking of Mike, I watched the videos. They're good.
Yeah.
And Dave, Millie's got an excellent,
Millie's on the phone. Oh,
an excellent question.
Will the export
Will the limitations,
US government investment Millie has an interesting question. You ready for this? Will the export limitations apply to or affect U.S. government clandestine arming of terrorists?
Has supported the rights and freedoms of Illinois citizens to keep and bear arms. For over 100 years, the IFRA has been used for firearms as a
All you need to do is
for
pick up the
personal
phone.
protection
What did I
and
just say?
fundamental aspect of national defense. For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has been
Imagine a
supporting
black
you.
tinted
Don't you
window
think it's time you
SUV
support
to
them?
her house.
ISRA.org or 815-635-3198. The Illinois State Rifle Association supporting you.
really hung up.
Takeover? Tired of your outdated background? Did a big box store raise more questions than answers? The answer is Stone City. 2 million
right
square
there.
feet of marble and granite countertops and
Oh,
50 colors.
Yeah, it took me a second too. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Cabinetry,
That was
That one is a little
Stone
ahead.
City designers transform your dream into reality.
Although-
Stone City, 3053
No, that's-
Brandon,
that's-
Chicago, or call 773
That one's right. That one's.
That's 773-533-9806.
That one's-
Stone City.
Well, according to this, that's slow.
Then that, yeah, right, that's the one that's behind. Look, they look at, you can see me.
And George. We can play on George. You heard me. You're just like a dog or a cat. You hear your name, your ears prick up.
or food?
I could replace Thomas Lager, Jesse Jackson, as a camera man at the role.
No, because you would walk away from the camera eventually. The camera has
That's
to be
true.
taken away for them to
Yeah,
leave.
that's probably true.
I have an interesting comment on Facebook, which I think is crap, but that's just my
20
personal
seconds.
opinion.
Well, we're coming in, Rick is coming in. No, Brian's coming in.
Discount medical plan.
You want it?
Frisco, Texas. This plan is not available in all areas. Call 844-450-2273 or go to mydiscounthealth.com.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back. If you love great Indian cuisine, then you must experience Gaylord Fine Indian Cuisine in Schaumburg. Gaylord is so good, Gretchen and David eat there before the show. For over 38 years, 18 in Schaumburg, Gaylord has served an extensive menu of fine Indian cuisine. Signature dishes include tandoori jinga, jumbo prawns, chicken tikka masala, and the tangy and hot South Indian specialty lamb vindaloo. All dishes are prepared using only quality fresh ingredients, including the elaborate $12.95 lunch buffet that's cooked that morning. Manager Darren Dabrio invites you to come early when they open at 11:30 weekdays and noon on weekends to see the freshness for yourself. We recommend that you skip breakfast and save your appetite. Gaylord can accommodate business meetings for up to 60 people. Gaylord Fine Indian Cuisine is on Mall Drive, just south of Woodfield Mall. Call 847-619-3300 or visit gaylordil.com. Gaylord Fine Indian Cuisine is the Mercedes of fine dining. 847-619-3300.
Thank you, Brian. We have a comment on Facebook from Quentin. He says that arms control treaty also means no more cheap ammo for the AK platform, no more cheap 9mm ammo and other caliber ammo.
That could be true.
Really?
If they do, well, I mean, that would be an import, and that treaty would cover import.
Okay.
Yeah, import, export. So
Okay.
that is a possible consequence.
Okay. Well, we just have to manufacture more ourselves then.
There you go. Yeah.
Solve that problem.
Well, that would solve that problem. You're listening to On Target Radio. This is AM560 The Answer. Give us a call, 312-642-5600. You're going to love this. You're going to want to call. Somebody's going to want to call in this.
He means love facetiously. He's
Okay.
being facetious.
I didn't mean that. Yeah, I meant it facetiously.
This isn't television, so they didn't know you were being facetious.
Oh, well, if you watch it instead of listen, you'd be all right.
The back of your head.
This president, and now, of course, is a lame duck president, and pretty much he can do anything he feels like doing. He can try it anyway.
And he does.
And he does. Oh, yeah, yeah. So here's the best one. For those of you who are listening and you aren't gun people and you like roll your eyes when we talk about Second Amendment and you're sort of indifferent, this might hit a little closer to home.
Yeah.
He is going to help you. He's going to help them, yes. Neighborhoods. He's going to help neighborhoods diversify. Now, not just any neighborhood, of course, wealthy neighborhoods. They've concocted a formula of some sort that they're applying to municipalities, big and small. And if you don't have the right number of affordable housing units and what would you say, income deprived people, I don't know what you would say.
Lower income
people. There you go. That's good. If you don't have the proper percentage of lower income people, he's going to give you federal money. Federal money will build subsidized housing so that you can share the wealth with your neighbors.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little fuzzy. I mean, I guess it would be like if Joliet, for instance, is used to getting grant money for HUD housing, housing and urban development housing. The government is now, I'm extrapolating. I'm thinking out loud. The government is now going to say, okay, fine, we'll give you the money, but you can't put that HUD housing where you normally put HUD housing. You have to put it where the nice houses are.
Yeah. Now, I want to see how that's going to play out in Lake Forest.
I was going to say, well, it doesn't, because those towns don't get HUD housing. I mean, those towns don't get money.
I think all towns now get federal money, somewhat.
Well, no, this only says like 1,250.
Are going to be that they've chosen that's actually going to be affected by this. But I think federal. I think most towns get some form of federal funding.
Yeah, but not for this, not for HUD.
No.
But this is specifically, this is a final rule from HUD.
Let's reduce this to the lowest common denominator, make it real simple for everybody to understand. They don't give a rat's butt about who lives where. What they do care about is, for the most part, really wealthy neighborhoods tend to be what?
Republican.
Ta-da! So if you move in, let's say, a modest 500 unit affordable housing. I hate to stereotype here, okay? And I would never profile, but where do you think those votes are going to go?
Democrat.
They're looking at changing the voting pattern.
Yeah,
they want
absolutely
all the votes.
Yeah, one of the quotes that I really like, and I'm being facetious, is Marjorie Turner from the left-leaning Urban Institute says, segregation is clearly a problem that is blocking upward mobility for children growing up today. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Now, so here's the interesting thing. Places that today look like war zones were not built like war zones.
No, they look nice when they first built them.
Exactly. I would like someone from Lake Forest or someplace like that. Barrington. Yeah, exactly.
Lincolnshire.
Exactly. Give us a call, 312-642.
I used to work up there.
Give us a call, 312-642-5600. If you live in Lake Forest, how are you going to feel about having affordable housing built next door? And I'm not suggesting we shouldn't have affordable housing, but I am suggesting that you move into an area because it's, what word do I want? Appropriate for who you are? I don't know if appropriate's even the right word. It's the lifestyle that you're comfortable
with. It fits your personality.
Right.
It fits your family, your lifestyle.
And your income.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the concept of you work to move into a better place?
Right.
Well, that doesn't get you the votes.
Yeah.
Because it takes too long to do that. And so this just blows me away. And the question is he going to get away with doing it?
Well, right. Yeah. I mean, I know that some towns, the way that they keep out the lower income housing is they look at the building materials and they say, okay, well, you can't build houses with the building materials that you say you're going to use because those are too low quality. So if you want to build a development in our area, you have to use, minimum standard building materials, and so they keep out the lower income housing that way.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If I wanted to build a house,
it's not discriminatory.
I see. You're saying if I wanted to build a house and I was low income, I would, by the very fact that I don't have enough money, going to have to buy less expensive material.
It's less individuals than it is these real estate developers, that build entire subdivisions and things.
This is going to go over really, really well. I can tell that communities are going to love this.
Yeah, it's going to be a fight in a lot of town councils, I think, because I mean, I've sat in those meetings. I know about those meetings.
They tried to do.
It's going to be a fight.
They tried to do that in my little village probably 15 years ago, I would guess, and it's not there.
Right.
It never got built. They you could smell the tar and see the feathers floating around the village hall. Yeah.
Sure. Well, and unfortunately, where I live, they were, they kind of snuck one under the radar, and it is a problem area. It's very tightly packed. They have small yards, small properties, and I was knocking on doors in that area because there's a little section of it that's in my district, and I'm pretty sure I saw a drug deal go down. Pretty sure.
Gee, that's shocking. I can't imagine that happening there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually,
I can't imagine just one happening. Is what I'm saying.
The Will County Sheriff's Department actually said that most of their time in the north section of Will County is spent in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I know that neighborhood.
Yeah, you do.
Well, the interesting thing about that neighborhood is a lot of good families moved there because it was less expensive and they wanted to get away from Chicago.
Yeah.
But what happened is they end up bringing the problem from Chicago there.
And the other thing that I've seen, there's a mixture. There's those younger families that moved out of, they brought their problems with them. But then there's older people who downsized into, an affordable townhouse, smaller townhouse. And now they're living next door to like a gangbanger.
Yeah.
That's the problem that I see. I see a lot of older people becoming victims to.
We used to get a lot of calls
to things about that. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just it's yet another thing that this guy is got a hair where.
Yeah, there was I think it was a U.S. rep. He said he's making everything about race.
Exactly.
And this is just one more thing in the list.
Exactly.
But I think you're right. I think it's really about changing voting patterns is really what it is. Because like the area that I'm talking about in my town, that's the one precinct where there is no Republican precinct committeeman. As far as I know, there hasn't been ever since that was made a precinct. And there's not enough Republicans in there to have leadership.
Yep. Yeah, this vaguely reminds me of the movie Alien when the guy becomes a host for an alien, and the more they try and get the alien free, the tighter you see its tentacles going around the guy's neck, and that's exactly what this is. The liberals, the Democratic Party particularly, but they're doing all they can to subvert the system. Anyway, we got to take a break again. We'll be back with more on Target Radio, and we are going to talk a little bit about, believe this or not, the government lost $2.8 billion in 2 months. We'll be back with that and more on AM560, The Answer.
It still astounds me that you can lose $2.8 billion.
It was actually 4 months, but who's counting?
4 months. Okay. I'm off by 2.
Yeah.
Robert from Oak Brook didn't want to go in the air because he was drunk, and it was obvious to answer this. But he said Obama's, I just said I could answer this. Thanks for letting me know. Obama's friend bought the Magnum PI house in Hawaii. I wonder if Obama's going to make him put low-income
I hope
housing.
so. And Rick is bringing this one back. Are we, no, let's see.
Yeah, the next one will be.
Next one. And then we'll take probably a call.
Hopefully the next one's not drunk.
We have that effect.
It sends a message to every demon and hell and on earth.
That sounds weird. I put up a thing about me talking next Sunday as Guns Save Life, and David Fisher goes, "Good luck with this." That doesn't sound very promising. I don't know.
Do you think it was sarcastic?
Yeah, he sounds like he's being a smart ass. If you mean good luck, you just say good luck. You don't say good luck with this.
Yeah,
Were there dot? Is there a dot after it, or?
Do you want to video with that too?
It's a good question. I don't know.
What?
You want video of it?
Video of what? Oh, the
Gun
I
safe
think we
light.
can get the audio on that after these.
You think? That should help.
Makes me hope there's no gunfire in the background.
unpinning this post.
Oh.
It's probably the top of the last post that we made. That's why. 'Cause, if they-
No, I posted something after that.
Oh, you should post. So you want to pull the needle? No, I'll shake it up. You can pull it out. All right. I'll let you read it. Go on. No, we're the next.
No unpinning.
That's us.
So did you guys just like give a guy a script and then he does this? Or?
Yeah, I write the script. Well, they write it for me if I want to, but I prefer to write it myself.
Our friend in New York City has a good comment
Oh, yeah?
on the housing thing. He says, "Is Obama going to live on the south side of Chicago? Where is he sending his kids to school, private or public?"
I got two.
Yeah.
For over 100 years, the Illinois State Rifle Association has supported the right to freedom of Illinois citizens to keep and bear arms. For over 100 years, the IRA
I did it, but my thing is just spinning and spinning and spinning. It's not doing it. I did unpin, but look, it's just working.
Give me my brain. Manny from Oak Park says he thinks he didn't want to go on air again.
Nobody wants to go on the frickin' air.
Both these guys were drunk. But both of them made good points. Manny's point was that he thinks that maybe in the short term it might change the voting toward the Democrats, but as those people gentrify in that situation and start buying things locally in that, he says over time he thinks it'll go the other way, right?
It's okay, we're drunk.
We have drunk people come on the air all the time.
I think the other thing about it.
What?
Because mine is it's still spinning.
Yeah, try refreshing it.
I don't know where refreshing on here.
All you gotta do
This
is
is Firefox.
just click the bar.
Protect it with the best. Join LifeLock right now, and you'll get a special 15% discount. Just call or visit lifelock.com and use promo code 15 today. That's 15 today to take advantage of an incredible 15% discount. Act now. This offer ends June 30th. Call 800-838-6010. 800-838-6010. 800-838-6010.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
Hi, I'm Rick Cezak, Advertising Sales Director for the On Target Media Group. If you own a small business and need more exposure to potential customers, and what small business doesn't, we can help. For over 2.5 years, the On Target Media Group has been helping small businesses grow. We offer many different and affordable marketing packages through our partnership program. Plus, we can even create a custom program tailored to your business's needs. To find out how we can help you today, contact me at sales.ontargetradio@gmail.com or visit our website at otmediagroup.net facebook.com/sponsorship. We look forward to helping your business reach its target.
We have another comment on Facebook. This one is from our Jewish friend Michael in New York City. He says, is Obama going to live on the south side of Chicago? Where is he sending his kids to school, private or public?
That's a good comment.
That's a very good question. He won't even send his kids to school in Washington, D.C. in public school.
No, of course not. And you know what? To be fair, I wouldn't think the President of the United States would send his kids to public school. He'd want to send them someplace where they got armed guards. I know that sounds weird coming from me.
Well, they have armed guards. It's called the Secret Service. And they follow them everywhere.
I was thinking more in terms of
school itself.
Yeah, the school itself.
Yes,
the federal government. Remember how you remember how Obamacare was the answer, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah, and
the answer to every question.
And this president and this administration in general has always been about, we're taking this. Look at all the stuff they've taken over. We're taking this over because we're the federal government and we're better prepared. We can handle this. Not you schmucks out in the heartlands.
Right.
The federal government cannot verify. It's hard to even do straight. Nearly $3 billion in subsidies distributed through Obamacare. And this quote is nice, putting significant taxpayer funding at risk, according to a new audit report. The agency did not have internal system to ensure that subsidies went to the right enrollees or in the correct amounts. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which they abbreviate CMS, internal controls did not effectively ensure the accuracy of nearly $2.8 billion in aggregate financial assistance payments made to insurance companies under the Affordable Care Act. Listen to this, and you're right, I was off a little bit. Under the Affordable Care Act during the first 4 months that the payments were made. They lost $2.8 billion in 4 months.
Well, it sounds like they're just not sure.
Oh, good. That I feel better.
Not that that's better. That's not substantially better. I'm not saying it is, but it just sounds like we're kind of not really sure. We spent $2.8 billion, but we're kind of not really sure that was the right amount or that it went to the right people.
Or it might have gone to vacations for the,
Right, probably did.
Yeah.
If the Secret Service is any indication.
This is what they ran on the most open, transparent, and honest
most
administration.
transparent administration in history.
And he was going to bring order to a chaotic system.
Mm-hmm.
Can you even picture?
No.
Not knowing where $2.8 billion went in 4 months?
No, and I also don't understand. I mean, I can't understand any of it. I can't understand how they built a website and they spent all that money and it still didn't work. And here's another instance of technology. He's supposed to be like the social media president, the internet president, and he doesn't have his technology straight.
No, and it's the feds that keep saying they don't want encryption on our electronics, phones and stuff.
I think it's them. I think we need to have a backdoor into their stuff so that we can, because no one is minding the store, apparently.
That's true. You know what? We could hire a 12-year-old kid to run this stuff for, like a bag of munchies a day.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, in any case, cheaper. I mean, even if we sent him to college, it would be cheaper than what it is. You know what this puts me in mind of, actually, though, is like welfare. And the housing subsidies.
Another well-run system.
Yeah, the housing subsidies and what used to be called food stamps, but now in Illinois it's the link card or whatever the payment method is in whatever state. I think a lot of people don't realize. 5 years ago, I didn't realize it's like an honor system.
Yeah.
If you get a raise at work, like if you work,
you're supposed to tell them.
And they subsidize you because you don't make enough money to rent an apartment and buy groceries. You're supposed to tell them that you don't qualify anymore.
What could go wrong with that system?
What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong with that system?
Yeah, I mean, it's inconceivable to me that you would, just be giving people handouts and you expect them to just be on their honor.
We could actually have them hire CZAC, an intern guy, and they would do a better job working part-time during the week to run this fiasco.
Oh, I have no doubt about that. Rick, I mean, I couldn't believe how fast Rick got those videos up yesterday. I was texting somebody, oh, the videos will probably be up, sometime tomorrow maybe. And then there they were. They were like just appeared on Facebook. I'm like, He's amazing.
On ISRA Range Day, or NRA Day at the ISRA Range.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
was very, very impressive.
Was yesterday.
Good
Yeah,
job.
I was. Hats off to you, Rick, because I was amazed.
We just need to work out the audio part, but otherwise it's good. Anyway, we got to take another break, and talking about what could possibly go wrong. Our next subject is the president said it's okay for jihadists to train with our military. All that and more insanity when we return with more On Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560 The Answer.
Stuck in traffic.
Yeah, we ought to have a segment called "What Could Possibly Go Wrong with That." You know what we're doing for segment 6? Yes. So I'm gonna ask you. We do tell them about segment 6, all right? You don't have to say much. Just say tune into this and this. We're going to be talking about the yeah.
Hey, Rick, I just wanted to tell you, don't feel bad. I spent, maybe 3/4 of the day last year dealing with trying to get good sound. And then the other quarter of the day trying to figure out why their Wi-Fi wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up walking around with 2 mics with like 15-foot cords on my belt.
Right.
And like holding the camera and like doing this. Yeah. It's a unique.
We got stuff up.
We did. And the other problem we had was that the Wi-Fi wouldn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
We were trying to upload the videos as soon as we did them, and it just wasn't happening.
Still can't. Yes.
But yeah, the sound was a major issue. It's such a unique because you have all the popping.
No, it's your baby.
Yeah. Well, and that's what he was complaining about that. And I said, it was authenticity. I'm like, don't
drag it out.
It is, and you don't want to be like.
Just say what it is. What is going
Well, I kind of almost, for me, I kind of almost was, but like when I turned my speaker up, I could hear it. I could hear the sound card, but I could still hear myself.
Yeah.
Or not that. I knew what I was saying. But yeah, it's just that's what it is.
1 minute.
I'll bring in have you draw.
Okay. Never give intern more than me. Yeah.
I'll comment on stuff. I just don't want to just jump in the middle when you guys are talking.
You know, I used to feel the same way.
1-800-448-9977. If lines are busy, try again.
I used to feel the same way.
Radio-only offer. Ring Away is our #1 product for ear ringing, and there's nothing like it. Powered by fast-acting, doctor-recommended ingredients, it's scientifically designed to combat ear ringing and buzzing, so you can work and sleep in peace. But you can only get a free bottle by calling now. Take part in this special nationwide giveaway.
I was going to say, to fix this thing, just give a high school kid a pack of Mike's Hard Lemonade. Sort it out. That's all you got to do.
Well, then you should have said that. You should have said that. That would have been, because I made that very comment.
Yeah.
Should have jumped in and said it.
1-800-448-9977.
You're listening to On Target Radio on AM560 The Answer with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
All right, everybody, Rick Czak here, social media coordinator. We're going to do the drawing for the Aries Tactical gift certificate we've been giving away, as you've heard over the past 4 weeks. And intern guy is going to do that right now.
Intern guy.
His name is Brian.
Brian.
That's all right.
For anyone who's listening.
Congratulations, Pete Kane. You have won.
Pete
All
Kane.
Right. So he's got the gift certificate. I'll contact him shortly and get it sent over to him.
There you go.
Okay.
Didn't you have somebody on Facebook?
Nope.
Oh, I thought you did.
Not this time.
We've had 4 callers now,
Yeah.
and every one of them
None of them wants to talk on the radio.
didn't want to talk on the radio. We're the most successful failing show in the history of radio. I'm telling you.
To be fair, one was ready to talk on the radio, but then hung up during the ad.
I somehow or another I see that as failure to communicate.
Failure to launch. We had so many people come up to us yesterday and say they listen every Sunday. So while that makes us feel good, it doesn't help because there's no calls coming in, and it doesn't help that we have no advertisers.
That's right.
Yeah, I had someone come to me yesterday and thought I was Brian. Are you the intern guy?
Well, I could see how they would make that mistake.
Yeah.
You're like following me all over. I'm not used to it yet. It's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that diva who's got like somebody following me around like with a video camera.
Not in the restroom though, right?
No.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. Just the hidden camera there. Yeah. Here's an interesting little, in the department of what could possibly go wrong, which seems to be what we're doing tonight.
That's tonight's theme.
That's tonight's theme. The Obama administration has now given an invitation to jihadists to join military forces in the Middle East to be trained by U.S. troops so they can learn how to fight against Assad. I don't even know, what can you say about it? The president of the United States is now going to use our troops to teach jihadists how we fight so that what? They can turn around and use it against us in 6 months.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened in Afghanistan and different places.
It's to take out Assad, okay? But you know what? You could do that with a small tactical nuke, too. I mean, we're training
There's
people.
probably easier ways.
We're training people, and they're going to, you watch, they'll show up crossing the border from Mexico into this country and using our, once you teach them your tactics, they know the bag of tricks.
Well, then we have to change our tactics.
Yeah, we have to, and the first tactic would be changing the guy that's sitting in the White House.
Well, that would help.
That would help a lot.
Well, they had this meeting at Camp David, and they're saying that the military personnel that are already over there are largely American. They're going to train 1,500 vetted fighters from Syria, but the vetting process is haphazard, and undoubtedly many fighters who previously fought with other jihadist groups have joined the quote-unquote vetted fighters. So it's not so much that they're inviting them, it's just that they may sneak in.
Yeah, haphazard. It's really good when you take belligerents who have been trying to kill you and behead you and invite them to come and train with you to be better fighters, and then use a haphazard vetting system. It's Obamacare all over again.
Yeah, it says at the summit, the Obama administration reportedly also accepted that jihadist forces, some affiliated with Al Qaeda, could also join the battle against the al-Assad regime.
Could. Yeah.
It could happen.
Sure. Only, I mean, I don't expect a big percentage, maybe 99%.
Yeah,
only.
I just see like, the fresh college graduates that, worked for like Valerie Jarrett or whomever else is involved, kind of shrugging their shoulders and going, yeah, it could happen.
Brian, have you given consideration upon graduation to become a jihadist?
Yeah.
Okay, time to go to break, isn't it? Well, that was not what I was hoping to hear.
Yeah, 2 minutes left.
Yes, right.
Yeah, see, that was great to say because now I probably just got myself on a watch list.
You're on this show. You're already on the list.
Yeah, and the truth is that I didn't give them Rick's name. I gave him your name.
For clarification, I'm not actually considering doing that. That was
we got him worried
satirical.
now. You see that?
The funny thing is, before you were on this list, now you're on this list.
Yeah.
I got moved.
You're just switching from one list to another. Yeah,
I think you're on both lists now, actually.
Wait till you see the black SUV with the tinted windows.
Yeah, let us know.
This time it'll be a van with a sliding door.
Let us know what happens this week.
That could well be.
If we don't see you next Sunday, we'll know what happened.
So, what can we say more possibly about training jihadists with American troops? You know what? A serious question really is going to be: these guys who are going to be training them have been fighting over there, fighting them.
Sure.
How are they going to? How is the military going to actually take this insane order?
Sure.
That remains to be seen. One day they're trying to kill each other, and the next day, what? You're buddies and you're training them. That could be. But you know what? See, this president has no practical experience at anything, let alone military. He has no clue whatsoever.
Yeah, Larry actually said on Facebook, "Welcome to having a community organizer as president."
That's it. That's exactly right. Oh, let's all get together and make things better.
We'll have popcorn and we'll discuss it.
Exactly. Like we used to do when I was in college in the 70s. We'll sit in a circle and we'll share.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd like to share about a 2-2-3 with them. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You like that little comment about learning to put pig entrails in a 223? I think that has possibilities.
Yeah, they're doing that already. They're just putting it on the tips of the bullets and they're selling it and marketing it that way.
Well, there you go. See, I'm behind
That's not even a
times.
joke.
Behind the times. What can I tell you? We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap it all up. We'll have Gretchen with her action items, and we'll do a little recap. So all that and more when we return with more on Target Radio. And you're listening to AM560, The Answer.
Safer USA, Chicago's most trusted name in firearm training, is offering beginners classes, tactical pistol and rifle, long-range rifle to 600 yards, and the most comprehensive Illinois concealed carry program available. AM560 On Target Radio co-hosts David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz will prepare you to carry a firearm for personal protection, including firearm, holster, and ammunition selection. A comprehensive law review designed to keep you out of trouble and even how to deal with home invasions. Firearm, ammunition, holster, class notebook, and lunch are provided. Safer USA and the Aurora Sportsman's Club invite you to participate in this one-of-a-kind Illinois concealed carry program that also qualifies you for Florida, Utah, and Arizona non-resident permits. Find out what over 6,000 students already know at saferusa.com or call 877-954-3030. That's 877-954-3030. Safer USA. Choosing to own a firearm is your business. Teaching you to own it responsibly.
Hi, I'm Brett Brishaw.
So we come back, you're doing.
Some people call me crazy because I've just authorized.
I know who's leading on.
That's on
You are.
Motivation.
That would be
In fact,
everybody's okay with that, right?
And you can get it free.
We just got, while we were on the air, we got one more page later.
She is going to I'm going to bring her back in. She's going to do
discover the 9 declarations
her thing, and then I'll ask
personal power. Unmask the major enemies that are holding you back and learn the secrets of defeating them once and for all. I'll show you how to get back in control of your life so you can finally achieve the success you dreamed of. Financial freedom, emotional freedom, time freedom. I'm so passionate about changing lives. I want you to have the motivation to manifest
about changing lives.
But due to high demand, I can only offer one free
emotional freedom.
Because
that's what
find out how to get yours while supplies last. Call now. 1-800.
Due to high demand, he can only limit it to 1 copy per household.
That's 1-800
of his literature.
15.
He won't send you 2.
Too much emotional freedom.
Emojis, right?
On AM560, The Answer, with David Lombardo and Gretchen Fritz. Here's David and Gretchen with more interesting conversation on gun control, concealed carry, freedom of speech, and other red meat issues that affect your life.
And we're back with more on Target Radio. And here's the moment you've been waiting for all week. It's what you can do in the upcoming week.
Stand by. Here's Gretchen with your action items for the week.
On Target Radio has added a 3rd public appearance in June. I will be speaking at the Gun Save Life meeting at the VFW Hall in Oak Lawn on Sunday, June 28 at 5 p.m. on the topic of firearm safety and avoiding lethal force confrontations. David will be there watching my 6. Contact your U.S. representative and encourage them to support H.R. 2710, the Lawful Purpose and Self-Defense Act of 2015. This act for sporting purposes language from the Gun Control Act of 1968. The weather is heating up, and so is the class schedule. The following Safer USA classes are all at our office in Waterman. Saturday and Sunday, July 11th and 12th, Illinois Concealed Carry 1. This 16-hour class will be taught by David and Gretchen and meets the training requirements for Illinois Concealed Carry, as well as Florida, Arizona, and Utah. Saturday, July 11th, NRA Basic Pistol taught by David. Actually, this class is full, so you could join the waiting list, but that's the best you can do. Sunday, July 12th, Concealed Carry Live Fire 1 and 2, taught by Eric. Ladies, listen up. Sunday, July 12th, Women's Concealed Carry Issues, taught by Gretchen. Learn about, see demonstrated, and try on several different types of women's holsters for less than the cost of one holster. Saturday, July 18th, Illinois Concealed Carry 2, for those who have an exemption for the first 8 hours, taught by Gretchen. Saturday, July 18th, Tactical Pistol 1 and 2, taught by David. Saturday, July 18th, Long Range Rifle, taught by Ed Janka. To sign up for classes, go to saferusa.com and click on register.
I've been watching your 6 for 2 years, sweetheart. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know.
Yeah, nice 6 there, baby. Brian, tell them about segment. Speaking of 6, tell them about segment 6 tonight. We're going to have a good one.
That was a good segue.
I like that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I get the big debt.
All right, so for segment 6, we're going to be chiming in and each giving our own opinions on the Charleston shooting. If you want to watch this online, you can go to www.youtube.com/ontargetradio.
There you go.
Right.
And then it'll be archived and it'll be on
You'll watch it anytime you want.
on YouTube.
Yep.
So we're coming along on that, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, we've made some improvements.
Yeah. I mean, we're it's actually I was going to say baby steps, but we've taken some big steps. Taking some big steps. Yeah. It's really been a crazy show. We've had a bunch of callers. Nobody wants to actually go on the
Everybody
air.
hangs
They want to
up,
just
yeah.
tell us stuff, but not go on the air. And
Tinfoil hats.
and yeah. And
Well,
we had our
the
first drawing.
Fifths of things.
Right.
And it's this administration. I mean, almost everything we talked about tonight is a new and different nutty thing that this guy wants to do.
Yeah.
I still don't understand why they haven't impeached him.
I don't either.
Joe Biden, that's why.
You know what? At least Joe Biden isn't anti-American.
True.
He's a bit of an odd duck, I will
He's a
admit.
little creepy. Yeah, he is.
He's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but at least
He's
doesn't hate America.
He's not Barack Obama.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
Not a community organizer.
Yeah.
Well, especially now that we finally have the Republican majority in Congress, they actually could, and they have to vote on that. I mean, we actually could get that vote.
You're absolutely right. Thank you for listening to On Target Radio, and be sure to listen next week when we'll be covering the red meat issues that affect your life.
We'd also like to thank George Huffman on the board, our social media coordinator and ad sales director, Rick Zizek, our intern, Brian Schmaltz, and our sponsors, DS Arms, Gaylord's Fine Indian Cuisine, the Illinois State Rifle Association, the Aurora Sportsman's Club, Stone City Kitchen and Bath Design Center, and Safer USA.
Be sure to stay tuned for Living Sports with our buddy Russ Gangler. And he's always up on what's happening in the world of sports, even when I'm not on the show. And thanks, Mike, for making it all happen.